So this is the semi-final to see who takes on Cal Berkeley. As we see in the visitors, we've got Amstel and Proteus from the Netherlands against Thames Rowing Club from London.
Thames. When I see that you are both straight and ready, I will start you like this.
So many Dutch crews here
Attention.
at the regatta this week. They've really one of the few crews who've sent some international crews who've sent some internationals ahead of the Olympics.
Attention. Go.
We see smooth starts in the first few strokes. They power away. Will we see good steering here in the visitors? To me, I see the crew there from Amstel and Proteus came towards the Thames crew. Both crews came together. We can see Amstel and Proteus have gone off on the left there. Need to make a little correction, otherwise they're going to be hitting the. They are going to be hitting the buoys. See the stroke side blades going over the white buoys.
Now they've got to get in time before they hit the booms.
That's right. White buoys are scary. Red buoys are worse. Booms are terminal.
They've done all that, and I think they still might be ahead. They did all that extra.
I think you might be right. It's going to put some panic into the veins, and maybe it was some adrenaline that went pulsing through the Amstel and Proteus crew. But we see Thames looking pretty smooth. But like you say, they've wasted energy, so we could well expect Amstel and Proteus to come back from that.
So both crews still at 39 now. They've not settled yet. They've got their steering right now. I wonder what the story would be if Proteus hadn't had to put all extra effort in.
That's right, they rode an extra distance and they clattered into buoys. And clattering the oars on buoys definitely doesn't help you with efficiency. We all know that. So they gave away that half length or so. Thames now looking to capitalise on it, looking to try and squeeze a little bit more out. Seize the moment. It's a match race. Seize the moment, and they look like they're doing that on about the minute when the crews are settling down. They look like they're still moving out.
So this Thames crew, that really has given them the advantage, because the Amstel and Proteus crew are one of the strongest in the event. We've got several internationals in the boat, and but that bad steering off the start has enabled Thames to take the advantage off the start, and it might just be the chance they needed. If these crews had both gone off level, I don't think we'd be seeing this now, but the Thames have really taken the advantage. They're looking strong in this first half of the race. In the Thames boat, you've got 3 returning Thames Cup winners from 2015 trying their hand in the visitors now. So they got the early start, but we would expect to see the Amstel and Proteus crew come back through in the middle half. And we'll see how long the Thames crew can keep ahead. They can really use that advantage.
Well, I think Thames, like you say, they used the advantage when they could. They saw that the other crew from the Netherlands had some issues. They stepped in quickly. They then settled onto their pace, and they just moved out. But I think, to me, it looks like the Amstel and Proteus crew, we see the head-on shot moving really quite smoothly, and I think they could be edging the way back into this one. I reckon the boats are still overlapping for sure. And it's Richard Stanhope, I think, from this distance, that I can see standing up in the umpire's launch, and he won't let them mess with him. He's not an umpire I think anyone would want to take on. So I would warn them, keep your boats going straight, gentlemen.
You can really see it there. The difference in the Amstel and Proteus crew are still up at 38, 39 in this middle half of the middle section of the race. They've had to get back on terms, and I think they're just keeping it up there, and they can because of their experience. They're keeping it up there until they get back on terms, back through. They're pulling it back every stroke now. Thames have dropped it into their race pace, 35, 36. Proteus
and
are
like
pulling
you say,
it back.
Proteus are having to pull it back. They're having to keep that higher stroke rate going. Will they be able to keep it moving? Very experienced, one of the Muda twins, Vincent, in there. I would be expecting to see both the twins in, but they're not. So yeah, taking a look over his left shoulder there, the Muda twins used to row the double scull together for the Netherlands. So yeah, plenty of experience. They'll have been in situations before, but now Thames are on top of them. Are they going to be able to keep moving? Now we're into the second half. In fact, we're into the third quarter, the difficult third quarter of the race.
They've not been phased at all. I mean, it would be easy for this Thames crew to get phased by that, the crew coming back on them. But they've just, they've still got such a good rhythm. They've got the advantage now because they're a length out. They're at 36. The Amstel Proteus having to fight harder at 37, 38. So this Thames crew have had a good year. They finished third at the head of the river in the 8th race, and this is the engine room. This 4 is the engine room of the 8s. Tell us about the engine room of an 8, Greg. Where would these guys be sitting if they're in the engine room?
So they would be the big lads who sit probably between 3 and 6 in the boat, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're likely to be a stronger on the ergo. They might not necessarily be technically quite so gifted. Might be more ready to slow the boat down as well as speed it up. But there's not too much sign of that happening in the Thames boats. We have a nice look here along the boat, and we can see there Christopher Moran in the stroke seat, backed up by Nicholas Passini, who steers the boat. And they're doing a pretty tidy job, but I think the crew from Netherlands, from Amstel and Proteus, are going to look to launch a big attack now as they're coming down towards the closing stages.
So this visitors event, it's an intermediate event for clubs and students. This Thames crew, they really want to progress here. They all have full-time jobs. They're training alongside their work. 2 of them believe that this will be their last Henley, and they're really going for it.
But I'm thinking the Thames are going to be getting themselves in a bit of trouble here. I could see the coach following in the Netherlands boat shrugging his shoulders, hoping that the umpire might just get his flag out and start to steer them back on their station. As we see Vincent Muda there taking a look over his left shoulder going, we can do this, boys, we can do this. And I think the Netherlands crew are launching an attack now up the enclosures. There's still probably a minute and a half to go.
So it will be a turn-up for the form if Thames can hold them off. They've done incredibly well in the first and second sections of this race. They stole the advantage from the
So who's
Proteus
your money on,
earlier.
Alison? Who's your money on?
I'm trying not to be biased. Thames was my old club, and they've made me a life member, which is wonderful of them. And I'm trying not to be biased here, but I can't help a little bit slipping in.
I think you can back them. I'm backing them. I'm backing them. The Netherlands have had the crew from Proteus and Amstel have had more rate flexibility throughout the race. They've had the rate higher. Richard Stanhope's now gone for the flag and steered Thames back. They need to make sure they respond right now. I don't think they need to steer on top of them because they can win the race without any kind of misbehaviour up the final few strokes coming into the line. And here we see him coming down.
What a composed row. So two of this crew are retiring after this Henley. They were looking forward to cold beers, but it won't be today. They're going to have to hold that off for another day.
Big cheer going up, like you say. The cold beers are holding off for one more day for your old club Thames, as we see confirmation in the visitors. The Thames beating Amstel and Proteus-Eretes from the Netherlands.